So about 2 weeks ago, I uploaded this video about the OP1 8K. Then literally the very next day, I received another new mouse in the mail. And this was a mouse that I'd ordered about 3 weeks earlier. It was the HSK Pro Ace 4K wireless, or something along those lines. Now, I've been only playing with this mouse since then, and today I'm going to share my thoughts on it. Normally, I would just talk about the mouse itself and what it's like to aim with, but for this one, I have a pretty unusual experience that I want to talk about as well. So I bought this mouse directly from the G-Wolves website, and it is not cheap. The entire transaction with shipping to Australia actually cost me 284 Australian dollars, which is about 186 USD. So honestly, a very ridiculous price for a mouse. But I do really like trying new mice, and I'd heard pretty good things about this one, so I bought it anyway. After I bought the mouse, however, I didn't receive any sort of confirmation email or receipt for my purchase, which when I'm spending this amount of money online, it is something that I usually like to have. So I contacted the customer support on the G-Wolves website through a live chat, just to let them know that I hadn't received any sort of receipt, and I just wanted to make sure that the order I'd been charged for had been received on their end. Then I waited for a response. After however long, maybe like an hour or so, I get an email from G-Wolves telling me that I had received a live chat response from their customer support team. So I go back to their website, to the live chat, and they'd responded telling me that they couldn't send me a receipt because they didn't have my email. But they had just emailed me to tell me that they had responded in this live chat. Now, I'm not going to go over the entire conversation that I had with them, but it was honestly one of the most painful and overall terrible customer support experiences I have ever had in my life. The person I was talking to on the other end didn't even seem to understand English very well at all, and would just keep saying the same thing, that they didn't have my email, even after I'd resent it to them multiple times and explained to them that I was receiving emails every time they responded in this live chat. This went on for over a few days until I basically just gave up. They said the order had gone through and they had an order number for me. I asked if it had been shipped out, and the final response I got for them was, "It haven't been shipped." So I called it there. A few days later, I asked the status of the order again, but I never got a response. Now, I just wanted to tell this story really quickly because it's pretty funny, and it's a bit of a warning to other people considering buying from G-Wolves. Their customer service is basically non-existent. But anyway, let's get into the actual mouse, the reason you clicked on the video. This mouse is absolutely tiny. It weighs in at 28 grams, can basically only be gripped with your fingertips, and it is of course wireless and has a 4K Hertz polling rate. Now, I mentioned in my previous video that I have massive hands at around 23 centimeters in length, and this mouse is only 7.3 centimeters long and 5.6 centimeters wide. But honestly, it feels really nice to aim with. I find I hold a very consistent grip with this mouse, seeing as there is basically only one way you can grip it. Now, I've made a few videos in the past where I aimed with a pen on a drawing tablet, and I spoke a lot about the precision that you get from your fingers when aiming with a pen. And this mouse honestly gives a pretty similar feel to that. Because it is so small and light and you can have such control over it with your fingers, it results in precision aiming just feeling a lot better. I've been using this mouse on the Artisan Raiden Mid mouse pad again, and just like my OP1 8K, I swapped the stock feet out for the Tiger Ice dots when I received it. I did briefly try the stock feet, and they felt quite nice, but again, I prefer the Tiger Ice dots. Also, just like the OP1, this mouse comes with grips in the box, and this time I actually put them on. The texture of the mouse wasn't so dry and grippy like the OP1, so I did put the grips on to help with a more consistent grip and stop my fingers sliding around on the mouse when aiming. It also comes with a bunch of spare mouse feet and spare grips in the box. The mouse feet are from the normal shape of the HSK to a full sleeve of dot mouse feet, which is nice because I can put that on any mouse I like in the future. Now, the clicks and scroll wheel feel really nice as well. I will say I do prefer the clicks on the OP1 8K, but I probably prefer the scroll wheel on the HSK. There's not a massive difference here, but just a slight difference in feel. Due to the incredibly light weight of this mouse, the battery is much smaller than a standard mouse, and it does have to be charged more often. The battery life is probably about half of what you would get with something like a G Pro Superlight, which isn't too bad. Usually it needs charging every second day or so if I've been playing my PC quite a lot. I have the charging cord in the mouse bungee, so I can still play while it's charging, and it doesn't feel too bad again. Charging cord is a little stiffer than I'd like it to be, but it's not the end of the world. Now, as my previous video was about the OP1 8K, which was my first 8000 Hz polling rate, and this mouse only has a 4000 Hz polling rate, I was curious if there would be any perceivable difference between these two pollings. And when playing, I honestly haven't really noticed a difference at all. I'm often just playing on 2K Hz, as the 4K or higher doesn't work on Kovacs and Rust anyway, which is a lot of what I've been playing lately. But yeah, I do really like this mouse, and I think I'll main it for quite a while. I love the lightweight and small size of it. It's very easy to maneuver on the mouse pad, and it's perfect for a fingertip grip. But do I think it's worth the $284 that I spent? Honestly, no. It is a great mouse, but I think that price is just ridiculous, especially when you could buy something like the OP1 8K for less than half of that price. But if you do really want a small mouse, something really lightweight with a fingertip grip, and you have a lot of money to spare, then the HSK Pro Ace 4K wireless is a great option in my opinion. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a good one. Cheers.